So the next thing we're talking about is text. So if you go up to, typically I use the annotate tab, but you can also do text just based on the home tab. On the ribbon, you'll see here it says text, and you have multi-line and single line. I recommend using multi-line text for almost everything. I rarely use single line text unless I want to do oblique text. So we're going to start with the multi-line. When I click on multi-line, it comes up as M-text. You can also type M-text if you wish, and then you're going to pick a corner. Oh, before I do that, when you type in M-text or use the button, notice here that it says standard text type annotative no. You're clicking a corner and picking a button, and you can write anything you want. Text for class. Okay? Now, when I do the M-text, like I said, it says standard height 0.2 annotative. For the most part, our text here, when we do, if you remember in engineering drawing, is text height on a piece of paper, 8.5 by 11, is 0.125. Okay? It's an eighth of an inch. Okay? That looks best in all drawings. You don't want anything smaller than that. And where that comes from, I'm going to go ahead and go to the annotative tab. And right here is where you're going to set up your standards. Now, standard, if you come up here and pull this down, you've got different types. You've got a legend style, you've got standard style, you've got annotative style. We're going to just keep with standard right now. Now, to activate the text style manager, this little arrow button here in the corner, if you click on that, you can also type the word style. If you click on that, it's going to bring up this style manager. It's Arial font. So maybe you didn't want Arial font. Maybe you wanted City Blueprint. Okay? You can set that current, say yes, and close. Now, when I type in text for class, this is what you get. Okay? Different styles. Now, over here, you have different text heights. So I'm going to do M-text. If I change that, and I go M-text, notice it changes it here. Okay? Now, the single line text is similar. I can say single line text, and then it asks me specify a start point and justifier style. So I can click on, and again it tells me it's standard and the text height is the 0.26 that I specified. I can go justify, I want it centered, and it says pick a start point. And then it says I can change the height. Maybe I want to change the height to the 1.25. The rotation, maybe I want it 90 degrees. And I'm going to write text for class. Now, it did everything that I asked it to, right? Now, in the single line text, it asks me all those questions. In the multi-line, it doesn't. It just gives me M-text and start picking the box. I take that back, it does. You can do height, justification, line, style, width, columns. Now, I'm going to show you why it says that. If I double click that piece of text, multi-line means multi-line. Dash, new line, new line, new line, etc. Okay? Now, when I double click this and I hit enter, it's a single line. You're done. There's no changing it. Now, like I said, I hardly ever use single line text. So if I wanted to change that to multi-line text without having to retype it, there's called an Express Tools toolbar up here, convert to MText. And now I've got it as MText. And I double click, enter, and I type all to my heart's content. Now, the other thing is PR for properties pulls up this properties box. I can change the height of my text here. I can change the style of the text here. I can make it annotative yes or no here. I can rotate it back to 0. I have a line spacing of 0.433 right now. I can do a line spacing of 1. I can mask it. That means, okay, I'm going to change that back to 0.5. Now, if you had text over the top of something, such as this, I can see the hidden and the visible lines behind that text, right? I can say masking right now, it says no. I can change that to yes. I can use the information of the background, and now it creates me a text mask. And what that does is now you can't see anything behind it. It's like somebody put a sticky note over the top of it, and you can write on top of it. Okay? This is nice when you've got a lot of information overlapping. If not, then just use it regular. I'm going to collapse these down. You also have line spacings exactly. Here's the thing. If you've ever used Microsoft Word or any of those products, you have a text editor. It looks exactly the same as if you used Word. I'm going to double click on this and look what it pulls up. When you double click on it, you have all of these options. This little button here, not button, but slider, actually will allow you to expand or contract the text. Let's say these needed to be bullet pointed. They could be numbers, or they could be letters, or they could be dots. They could be center justified. They could be right justified. They could have a number. All of this, all different types of stuff. You can also have them in columns. I don't have enough text right now, but you can have them in columns. For example, down here on this one, if I moved this over here so you can see it, I can go to my annotative, double click it. I can push these, pull these. I can change it to a dynamic manual height. So I push and pull, it puts it to another line. I can move that spacing over. I can push it to another line. Okay? So you can do these types of things. Now, something else you can do, I'll double click. You've also got symbols. The degree symbol, the diameter symbol, the delta symbol, all these different symbols. Right? Now, you also have up here a spell check. I recommend you using the spell check on your drawings. I am a horrible, horrible speller. I don't use spell check enough, and then it gets me into trouble and it makes me look like I'm not very bright. But I just don't spell well. I won't even deny it. I've got other pluses. Spelling's not going to be one of them. But spell check, you know, there's the word I've seen, and a lot of engineers don't spell well. And when I can catch a misspelled word, then that's pretty sad on another person's set of plans. Usually I don't catch them. But you can do it in the entire drawing. You can do it in a highlighted section, a current selected object, etc. So I can say, entire drawing, start. Well, it doesn't recognize the gibberish that I put in, so I can just say, yes, I meant to say deaf. That's a good idea. And I change. And then I said faked, and that's a good idea. And then I said fog, that's a good idea. And then spell check's complete, and I close. So now I've got all my corrected information. Okay, that's really, really nice. What else? You have a command called QText. You can turn it on or off. Now, QText hide, it says QText hides or changes the appearances to speed up regeneration. I don't use QText often at all, but it's just another command that you have at your fingertips. Let's say you have a drawing that is, for example, in all of your construction plans, architectural or civil, you always have to have, in the people that have building construction management classes, you're going to take a class called building codes and all that, and specifications. All drawings have to have specifications. It's telling us how to construct something, whether it's architectural or civil. You'll have whole pages of how to build something. So QText, to help speed up the regeneration, you might use on that because it's a document that has a lot of text in it. All right, I'm going to pause here and then go over a few more things on text.